They whisper like flowers with the teeth in their grin. I shrink myself down, try to quiet the din. One wrong word and the chord is in session in Wonderland. Every glance is a question. I wear my guilt like a velvet crown. Ashamed before I even break down. Hyper aware, yet I still fall apart. Every stare feels like a dart to the heart. Welcome to Wonderland, unlocked, with Courtney guiding through every thought. Borderline in Wonderland, this is the place where shame wears a smile and hides its face. But here we name it, we speak what's true. No judgment can undo the real.
Curious minds, complicated hearts. This is your invitation to explore the beautifully tangled world within. You're listening to Wonderland Unlocked, and today we're exploring a phenomenon many of us know all too well: the slow, silent fade of someone we care about. It's like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. First, the body disappears, then the tail, until all that's left is the smile. But what happens when that smile, the last trace of connection, vanishes too? For those of us with BPD, or anyone with deep attachment wounds, this isn't just about pulling away. It's about spiral that follows: the self-doubt, the anxiety, the desperate need for closure. We'll begin by unpacking what the fade looks like: missed calls, delayed responses, plans that never materialize. It's not a breakup, it's a slow ghosting. But why does this hit us so hard? Because our nervous systems are wired to detect threats to connection. When someone pulls away, it feels like abandonment, triggering past traumas and leading us into a spiral. When someone starts to fade, our minds often race to fill in the blanks. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Was I too much? Did I imagine the connection? This uncertainty didn't just cause anxiety. It unlocks a trap door. And if you live with BPD, that door doesn't just open into a quiet room. It drops you straight into the past. That one time your parents stopped speaking to you for 5 days. That friend who ghosted you without warning. That ex who said they loved you and then disappeared. These aren't just memories, they're emotional blueprints. You're not imagining things. Your body really is reliving something. This is what we call an emotional flashback. But unlike visual flashbacks, where you see the memory, emotional flashbacks are somatic. They live in the nervous system. They show up as panic, numbness, a tightening in your chest, a weight behind your eyes. Your brain might say, it's just a delayed reply. But your body screamed, we're being abandoned. Time in this moment becomes slippery. A day without a text feels like a week. A week feels like the end of everything. Your nervous system doesn't understand that it's not 5 years ago, not that breakup, not that rejection. It thinks it's now, because emotional time isn't measured by clocks. It's measured by how unsafe we feel. And so, we spiral. We reread every message. We rehearse what we could have said differently. We imagine how they're thinking about us. Are they annoyed? Disgusted? Gone for good? We obsess not because we're needy, but because unpredictability feels like danger. And silence feels like abandonment. This is what happens when attachment trauma mixes with time distortion. It's like being caught in a Wonderland storm, where the skies shift and the ground under you wobbles, and you don't know which way is up. And here's something we don't talk about enough. Sometimes we react before the fade even finishes happening. We preempt the hurt. We pull away before they can. We send the never mind message. We over-apologize for something we didn't do. We test them. Do you even want to talk to me? Not to manipulate, but to try to feel safe again. That's what this spiral is made of. Fear. And not irrational fear, but fear rooted in experience. Fear that once someone did vanish. Fear that this time it's happening again. And if we're not aware of it, if we don't catch it in real time, we begin to become the very version of ourselves we fear others will leave. We overcommunicate. We beg for reassurance. We get angry and then ashamed. We try to turn ourselves inside out to be easier to love. And then we hate ourselves for it, because the spiral doesn't end with panic. It ends with shame. Here's what I want you to hear. You are not broken for feeling this deeply. You are not too much for having a nervous system that remembers pain. What you're experiencing is the fallout of love lost without explanation. And love withdrawn without clarity leaves a mark that time alone can't erase. So what do we do with that? We learn to spot the spiral. We start to untangle time. We figure out how to return to the moment we're actually in. Because this moment might not be what your body thinks it is. How do we stop the spiral? Or rather, how do we interrupt it before it pulls us under? It starts with one thing: grounding. The act of bringing ourselves back to the present. Back to now. Because spiraling often happens when we're pulling into then. Let's come back to the basics. The 5-4-3-2-1 method is a powerful tool because it anchors us through sensation. 5 things that you can see. Look around. The ceiling fan. The curve of a mug. A crack in a wall. The leaf shifting in the breeze. 4 things you can touch. Your shirt sleeve. The smooth surface of your phone. Your breath against your lips. Your feet grounded to the floor. 3 things you can hear. My voice. The faint hum of electricity. The wind outside your window. 2 things you can smell. Maybe soap on your hands or coffee in the air. 1 thing you can taste, even if it's just the aftertaste of water or the memory of toothpaste. This pulls your attention from the imagined threat to your actual surroundings, from the future that hasn't happened yet or the past that already has, to the reality that is right here. Here's another technique: self-validation. Simple, quiet affirmations that speak to your nervous system like a friend would. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. This feeling won't last forever. I don't have to fix everything right now. I'm allowed to be scared and still be safe. You are not dismissing your feelings. You're recognizing them without letting them dictate your reality. Because here's the trick. Emotional flashbacks make us feel like we are in danger. But most of the time, in the present moment, we're not. We're just remembering danger. So let's talk about the concept of a safety plan. This isn't just for crisis. It's for the micro moments, the spirals that start slowly. The ones that creep in at 2 a.m. or when a friend goes quiet or when a text goes unanswered for too long. A safety plan can include a list of supportive people, not necessarily those who fix things, but those who see you. Even one name counts. A few comfort objects, a blanket, a necklace, a note from your past self. Grounding tools, a playlist, a poem, a scent that you love, a texture you can hold on to. Reminders, like silence doesn't always mean rejection, or pulling away might have nothing to do with me. And maybe even a short script to tell yourself, right now, I feel abandoned. That doesn't mean I am. Right now, I feel scared, and that's allowed. But I'm safe, and I'm here. The spiral can't survive presence. It needs panic. It needs uncertainty. It feeds off the gaps between now and then. But presence is the antidote. After experiencing the fade, it's natural to feel hesitant, tender, guarded. When someone you care about pulls away, slowly, silently, it can shake your foundation. It makes you question your memory, your worth, your existence. And once your trust has been cracked, it can feel impossible to piece back together. But I want you to hear this. Trust can be rebuilt. Not instantly, not perfectly, but steadily. And it starts with you. Let's start here. Boundaries. Boundaries are not punishments. They are not ultimatums. They are instructions for love. They say, Here's how to care for me. Here's what I need to feel safe. Here's what I will no longer accept, not because I'm angry, but because I'm healing. Setting boundaries after someone fades can feel scary. It might even feel like pushing people away. But in reality, boundaries are how you invite people to meet the real you. Think of it like placing signs in Wonderland. This path is closed for repair. Please knock before entering. Quiet, tender heart ahead. The next part, communicating your needs. This doesn't mean giving someone a dissertation on your trauma every time they text late or cancel plans. It can be as simple as, I appreciate when you check in. I feel anxious when I don't hear back. Just want to let you know it's something I'm working on. Can we talk if something ever feels off between us? Clarity can be vulnerable, but it's also kind to both of you. Now let's talk about reciprocity. Relationships shouldn't feel like emotional gambling. If you're always the one reaching out, always the one holding space, always the one apologizing for needing connection, it's time to step back and take stock. Notice who asks how you are without doing something. Who makes time for you, not just when it's convenient, but when it matters. And who listens even when you're not at your best. These people are your anchors. They're the ones who stay, even when the weather changes. Rebuilding trust also means rebuilding your own radar again. The fade can mess with that. It can make you second guess your gut. So how do you recalibrate? Therapy can help. Journaling can help. Talking to someone who gets it, someone who says, yeah, I've been there, can help. It means that next time you'll notice the spiral a little sooner. You'll remember your grounding tools. You'll pause. You'll breathe. You'll say, I feel like they're leaving me, but I'm going to wait 24 hours before I panic. You'll build relationship rituals that keep connection alive. Things like weekly check-ins with friends, sending a thinking of you meme instead of waiting for the perfect words, saying, hey, I might disappear for a bit this week. Nothing's wrong. Just need to rest. Transparency makes fading less mysterious. It makes space for grace. Because sometimes people fade, not because they don't care, but because they are spiraling too. So here's the invitation. Let your needs be known. Let your boundaries be honored. And let yourself rebuild. Slowly, bravely, and gently. In Wonderland, the treasure cat didn't just vanish. He left behind a grin, a trace, a symbol. You don't have to vanish entirely when things get hard. And if someone else fades, you don't have to lose yourself trying to follow their shadow. You can stay rooted in the now. You can stay anchored in you. And that's the beginning of trust. Sometimes the most painful disappearance isn't when they stop showing up. It's when we stop showing up for ourselves. That's the quiet kind of fading, the kind that creeps in when you ignore your own needs to make someone else comfortable, when you silence your opinions to avoid conflict, when you shrink your presence to take up space, hoping maybe, just maybe, that'll make someone stay. But here's the truth. When you abandon yourself to keep someone else, you lose both. Self-abandonment often feels familiar. For many of us with BPD, it started young. We were taught, explicitly or implicitly, that love was conditional. Then in order to be chosen, we had to shift, perform, be easy, be useful, and be less. And so the fade begins from within. But reconnection, that starts with turning back toward yourself. Not with shame, not with scolding, but with the gentleness you'd offer to a younger version of you. The one who didn't know better. The one who was just trying to survive. And that means noticing when you're betraying your own boundaries. When you say yes even though you're exhausted. When you apologize just for having emotions. And instead practicing something radical, self-loyalty. And that might look like, I'm allowed to take up space. I don't have to explain my needs to make them valid. Even if someone pulls away, I won't abandon myself to chase them. Reconnection isn't just about bubble baths or journaling prompts, though those do help. It's about choosing yourself daily, even when it feels unnatural. Even when the old scripts whisper, you're too much, you're not enough. Reconnection is walking back into your own body and saying, I'm home. It's noticing your preferences. What do you like to eat when no one else is choosing? What kind of music stirs your insides? What does safety feel like, not just with others, but with you? It's being your own anchor when the world gets stormy, your own constant when others fade. And the more you return to yourself, the more you recognize the kind of love that doesn't require disappearing to receive it. So if you're listening to this and realizing you've been gone for a while, please know you can always come back. You are not too late. You're not broken. You are not unlovable. And you're still here. And here is where the healing begins. Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling, for not fading from yourself today. You're doing something brave, learning to stay, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And if you ever forget, just come back to this moment, this breath, this beat. You haven't lost yourself. You're just learning how to return. Until next time, be gentle with your heart and remember, Wonderland may twist and turn, but your compass is always inside you. Stay anchored, stay curious, and always stay you.